Okay. What brought me back to Coast this year was meeting the band last year and needing to play with them on stage soon.
Exactly as Timmy said. And Bernard and I had a film shown here today called Don't Doubt the Trout. And we're also ready to play some music here.
That being said, to the credit of the organizers, they saw a certain synergy with us bringing both live music and our film, which is creative and exciting. Hopefully everybody will dig it. And I think we've played here at Coast before at the Hobie shops, and it's always been fun. So we feel like we're part of the family too. So this is a good moment for us.
Last year, I met these guys and fell in love with them, and I want to be their drummer for life, so I'm trying out for that right now. So in order to play with them as much as possible, I needed to capture them and then release them onto the world with their creative love, known as their music. So I was like, hey, let's do a 10-show tour. We're going to call it Catch and Release, and that concept of something that drives your passion and turns you on and makes you feel alive. Well, you have that, you need to share it. So we've played a few shows, and we've got a bunch to go.
We're performing at Patagonia events throughout the state, and here today, which is fantastic, and tomorrow in Ojai, and then we're going to end it in Tahoe with this guy's friends.
A huge shout out to Timmy being a catalyst for us sort of leapfrogging our direction, because we like to let a lot of the creative process sort of fall to the hands of fate. And the synergy that we're currently feeling, we'll see how long this honeymoon actually lasts, but the synergy that we're currently feeling is sort of ratcheting it up both creatively and spirit-wise, as in our spirit and excitement.
So I think storytelling is really one of the oldest forms, right, of creative spirit going, around the campfire perhaps 10,000 years ago. But for us, as a band and as filmmakers, we get to use music, which everybody loves. You're born with this inherent soundtrack of your mother's heartbeat in utero. As a drummer, I recognize that. And then these two, bringing the bass and the guitar to my drums, creates this synergy and allows me to have the soundtrack of my life unfolding right now.
This was a happy accident for me because I neither planned to become a musician or a part of a film, and someone, Isabella Zawataska, the filmmaker of our film Don't Doubt the Trout, she was the one who initiated all of the components of the film, bringing that together. I was and I am just a musician who happens to be a fly angler working in the conservation world space with trout specifically. She was just intrigued by it, and she wanted to share that with other people as a conversation starter.
For me, unlike Rebecca, it wasn't as much fate, but on the other hand, it was something that I embrace wholeheartedly, because film, media in general, and music have always had a fantastic overlap, and some of my favorite music has been film music. And on the other hand, there's that 16-year-old boy inside of me that just likes to rock out. So it all kind of collides in a beautiful way. And I love beach and surf culture, and that's what brings me to Coast, is I get to be so blessed to be part of a community that's got salt water running through their veins. As far as our film and how it speaks to conservation, and in the context of our film, the southern steelhead and wild trout in Southern California, we're quite aware that it's just a step in an ongoing conversation, and these dams will one day come down. Other dams have just come down in one of the most momentous events in history up in the Klamath River in Northern California. And I feel like even though you like to think of a film or a piece of media as a classic, long-standing piece of creativity and message, it's also just part of a leapfrogging event or process. And I feel that that's where we play a role by having a film addressing this particular item. And there are actually a lot of different situations, even here in Southern California, within even 15 minutes of here in Laguna, that address the southern steelhead.
As far as our film goes, and some of the films that we watched today, they're inspiring to me, and I hope our film can also inspire others in a sense that what we're doing is quite small in the realm of like major projects in dam removal and otherwise, in conservation of species, endangered species, habitat restoration, and how we can all just play a role in it if we choose to. And I hope more people choose to, because it's easy enough to try, and I think people should be encouraged to try in one way or the other. They can do it.
As far as a highlight moment was today, it's been a day of first, right? Like we were on the radio playing a live broadcast of music that I have recently made my own. And these two have helped me elevate my musical game. And it's just been this leveling up to try and rise to the sweet, super passionate spot that they have. So that was really special. Yesterday, I had the chance to speak at Thurston Middle School, and I had hundreds of these sixth and seventh graders in the gymnasium with me, and they are just ready to go. There's so much fidgeting and movement and sound. So when we got them quieted down, I was able to talk with them about these beautiful places that I've had the opportunity to go to and living with intention. And their questions were so fun. They have this need for superlatives, like what's your best climb? What's your most epic climb? What's the most dangerous climb? What's the highest climb? But one question really stuck with me, and it was, have you ever been near death? And I said yes. And I feel that near death brings you near truth. And what I realized in this really epic moment that I had, where it was almost a chop, coming back from it, that the relationships that I have, the love that I'm able to exchange, is the most important thing I have in my life. And that's what Coast Music and Film and Music is about. Bringing the love.
Thank you guys. That was awesome.
Right.
Sid, we're good. You good.